Hi, guys. This message is for my collective, for my masculines, or anyone who wants to listen to tune in. It is January 12th, but of course, when you see this, it's when you're meant to see it. Some of you it'll resonate with, some of you it may not. Take what does apply and let the rest fly. So I was meditating on this energy and what I got last night, and I left it set out here and displayed and thought on it for a while. And what I'm getting is there is a masculine who is keeping his how he truly feels to himself, and inside he's not expressing this, and in return this is making him feel trapped. What do I do? How do I say this? And for some of you it's a masculine who has an important decision to make, and for all of you it's different. Some of you have an important decision to make and expressing how you truly feel, maybe about another, or how you feel about a partnership and a connection. Others of you, it's making a decision between staying and working in a situation or following your heart or listening to your gut and your intuition. But regardless, you should always listen to your heart and follow your intuition. Some of you could be in a partnership or working with another due to finances, or whatever it is, it's about the intentions. If your intentions is only when dealing with another because of what they have to offer, the stability, the finances, that's a red flag in itself, because the intentions aren't pure. It's not based off love. So I'll show you here. We got the Two of Swords to the Queen of Pentacles, to the Three of Pentacles, to the Judgment. Spirit saying making a decision to cut something out and taking that chance and making that sacrifices. Okay, if you make a decision, and this is an example, to cut something out or someone off and it will affect your finances. Maybe you guys partnership together, you work well together. Well, if you're willing to follow your heart and listen to your intuition and take that sacrifice and not be driven off the finances, you will be blessed for that, because spirit is wanting you to call judgment on a situation, to rise above the equation, to rise above to your higher purpose, which is to not be in a partnership or not be dealing with someone or stay in something just because of finances and allowing that to keep you stuck. Now, that's an example. Others of you, it might be something else, but this is just an example. And this is that energy of steady trying to fight and defend and stay with something due to the wrong reasons. And in return, it's making this masculine feel stuck. Maybe he's the one who financially offers, or maybe another person is, but regardless, the heart is not in it right now for whatever current situation or whoever you're dealing with. And you have to make that sacrifice and decision and stand on it, even if it'll affect your finances, even if you take a loss, because making that sacrifice to do what's right, or to follow your heart and follow your intuition and speak your truth, you'll always be rewarded for that. Doing the right thing, and there's indecision here, should I or should I not? I've been building with this, or I've been helping this situation or in this family situation, or if it's a job, whatever it is, it's going to be different for all of you. But you need to make something right here. There's something you need to make right, and you've been pondering this, indecisive about this, and it's some kind of finances which is affecting this decision in some kind of way. But if you, like I said, if you do what's right, or you make something right, even though it may affect you, you will get rewarded for that. You will get blessed for that, because there's something a masculine is needing to heal here. And you got to have patience with yourself, and you got to trust and follow your heart. You got to trust and believe that you're doing the right thing. If there's something you need to make right, you need to start taking action. You may not be able to make it fully right at the moment, but you need to start putting in work and action and take those baby steps to make something right. Some of you need to mend your own heart or broken heart. Some of you have fear of, if it is a situation where you have a choice between two, or a choice between leaving a situation that you're really not happy in, or fully any type of love in, And they may be the fear of, well, I don't want to hurt nobody, or I don't want to break someone's heart and, get with someone else, or just break someone's heart by leaving a situation, or fear of, if I leave this situation and go towards another, am I going to be hurt? Am I going to regret it? You cannot think like that. You just got to follow your heart and your tuition. Start listening to your body more, your mind more, and not second guessing it and putting in those doubts. But regardless, there's a situation or something that a masculine needs to walk away from. Now, whether this is a partnership, now whether this is a job, maybe someone or something they're working towards that's really not aligned with what their heart desires, you know, or the intentions in a situation are not pure. Now, whether it's someone you're dealing with masculine, or if it's regardless, someone is in it for stability and finances, not for love. And when that's the type of situation going on around us, there's always going to be some type of what am I interruption in that connection, or interruption in that at some point. Now, how that comes is going to be different for all of you. Some, it's going to be, it's not working out, or conflict, or constantly having to fight, or constantly having to defend yourself or prove yourself, things like that. And when that type of energy is at play, that's how you know that this is not for you, because it doesn't flow naturally. There's always some kind of resistance. There's always some kind of, feeling trapped, or wondering, your tuition is trying to tell you there's something you need to make a decision on. Your intuition is trying to tell you there's something you need to stop doing, or block out, or change your intentions towards something, because it's not pure, right? you know um Maybe some of you need to change the way, it could be all about an image, it could be all about a status, and that's something you need to change, ego, or worried about what people think, um and if it's a masculine who's keeping his feelings towards himself about another, and he's wanting to put an effort in this, but he can't, because he knows he has another situation going on. He knows that he's got to make a decision. He's going to have to cut something else out to even pursue this other thing. And it may be a problem. Like, if I close out this cycle, it's going to affect my finances. If I leave this situation, it's going to cause upheaval, conflict, and this and that. And if there's children involved, he's overplaying his mind. Well, what about the children? I don't want to upset the children. I don't want to this. That's all those fears and excuses setting in. If I make this decision and I follow my heart, will I end up regretting it? That's another fear base. You cannot think like that. Regardless, even if it's fear of pursuing another and being disappointed, or leaving a situation and how will things work out. The overall energy, regardless if it's not leaving another situation to pursue your feelings towards another, the main energy is there's still something that needs to be cut out, because the intentions of dealing with a particular person, or a connection, or working with another is strictly due to finances. And there can't be much growth from that. There never will find that peace and happiness out of something like that. It'd just be finances, and at the end of the day, you still don't feel whole, you still don't feel complete, because you're steady investing in something, for whatever reasons you give yourself, which isn't based off love or purity, or growth and commitment, which is why you're still left feeling empty inside. And it's thinking about this. Someone's keeping their emotions and their feelings to themselves. And if it's not about another person, there still is a masculine here who is not expressing how he truly feels about himself, his life, his feelings. He just keeps putting up with something, or keeps continuing to do something for satisfaction of others at the sacrifice of his own happiness. And that's what you got to realize. You got to stop keeping all this bottled up, because eventually, emotions come to the surface, and if they're not expressed correctly, if you don't take action and make changes for your own happiness in your own life, And sometimes that comes with sacrifices. You could lash out, or it could all bottle up and blow out, and it could be expressed incorrectly. It could make you, say things you later regret, or whatever, so it comes with this clarity, making sure you're speaking your truth and living in your truth and accepting your own truth, your reality of what the situation is and why you doing it, why you're in it, you know, because it's that intuition is always going to be in the back of your mind. That gut feeling, or what your heart truly desires, is always going to be nudging you in the back of your mind. And I see here there could be delays in manifestations, things you're trying to put together, projects or things you're trying to manifest in your own personal world. You may be noticing that there's delays in that, or things don't seem to be working out, or you can't seem to get things finished, or those are examples. But regardless, you might notice delays in things, in progress, in things you're trying to do. Um, and that's because your intentions when dealing with a certain person or maybe others are not pure. It's more about a selfish gain or the person you're dealing with. So, of course, when you have that in your energy, the things you're trying to manifest are going to be delayed, because what we put out is what we get, right? So, it's like putting out mixed signals to the universe. You say you want this, or deep down you feel this, but you're not putting action towards that. You say you want this for yourself, and you want this, and you want to leave this and do this, but you're dealing with people who are selfish gains or for an image, or, those are just examples. So you got to recheck yourself at the end of the day about your intentions when dealing with an individual, about your intentions on things that you do. What you do, is it for selfish gain? Is it for an image? Is it for finances? And when it's not pure, there's going to be setbacks, there's going to be losses. And you, like I said earlier in the beginning of the read, you always get rewarded when you make sacrifices that align with your higher purpose, that align with your heart, that follows your tuition, that aligns with doing the right thing. And if it is children involved, you can't be like, well, if I leave this situation, the child's going to be disappointed. But if you're already not happy, you can still play your role or go through those battles or the conflict that may arise. Eventually, all that will settle. Eventually that will pass too. But you got to first take the initiative. And for some of you, if it's a masculine who secretly, keeps his feelings for another and he wants to go pursue another, um, you know, he can't be 1 foot in and 1 foot out. And he knows he's got to cut something out, but he still contemplates heading in the direction of where he truly wants to go or who he truly wants to pursue. But he's got to come in wholeheartedly. He can't come in telling half truths. You know, if you're just honest from the get-go, whether things go your way or not, a person can respect that at the end of the day. Being honest about your feelings and your intentions, wanting to pursue another but has another situation going on. You got to first close out those cycles before you pursue another, because regardless if it's about pursuing another and your true feelings, at the end of the day, another cycle still needs closed out, because it's not based off love. It's not based off growth and care of another. And we get karma for that. We get karma when our intentions aren't pure, or when we deal with another's whose aren't, where we're not getting that same in return. And the karma would be, feeling bored and discontent in a situation. And eventually that weighs on you. And then when we're bored and discontent in a situation, betrayals start to happen. Lying, sneaking, conning, cheating, those kind of things. Examples: when we're bored and discontent in a situation, but we stay in it due to finances or due to something else, that's when the betrayals, and eventually all those things come to an end anyway. So this masculine is feeling stuck. He knows he has to make a sacrifice to even pursue something else or to even move forward, and that sacrifice could be different for all of you. The sacrifice could be needing to leave another situation. The sacrifice could be needing to, if there's addictions involved, got to work on those addictions, got to work on that drinking, that smoking, that porn, that sex, or whatever. Got to work on maybe his own toxic ways. Maybe has to work on his impulses, not being driven by sex or passion. Maybe, for all of you, there's so many different scenarios out there on what they need to sacrifice and cut out in order to do something else. And if it is a situation where it's wanting to leave a situation to pursue another, to pursue your heart's desire for another, the other person has boundaries. This person has done the work and gone within. And this masculine needs to do that too. This masculine needs to set boundaries with people he deals with boundaries with friends, boundaries with his goals, boundaries with his life purpose. You know, he needs to fight temptations. He needs to work on his impulses. You know, he needs to work on his maturity. For some, you might be a masculine who has other options or another option, or, you know, who drinks a lot. And this masculine needs to go within and start working on and realizing. And regardless, he doesn't need to go within and work on this just to meet the standards of another. This masculine needs to work on this regardless, because to operate and get those blessings and be happy and content in this lifetime, you got to be operating out of your highest good. You can't be toxic. You can't have addictions, you know, in order to be a good father. You know, you got to work on those things. You got to learn self-control. It's not about the options. It's not about having the different women. It's not about the short temporary satisfactions and selfish gain. You know, he's got to work on his outlook to women and how he presents himself to the world. You know, and he could be guarded. You know, he could it be guarded, his heart might be guarded. He's got to work on that. He's got to work on healing. He's got to be more open to change, not so quick to be defensive when something's presented, or he's got to be willing to work on things. And things don't change overnight, but if he's putting in the effort and work, you know, and not being guarded to change, then he can be open to receive. Then these delays and these blockages and these other things, then the peace of mind can set in. Then the you know, the true feeling content in life and happiness will can set in. Because until he does this, he's always going to have this sense of discontent and boredom and unhappiness with where he's at in life. But he's got to go within and recognize what he needs to cut out, his intentions towards people, and his own inner thoughts and ways. Because there's, you know, he could be more focused on wanting to have a good time. These are all examples, or it could be a scenario. All of you, it's different. You place it or flip the roles. You know, one thing he could have been distracted by is temptation, third party, drinking, or maybe when he drinks and parties, he lets loose, you know, or maybe he needs to work on being a better father, taking more action instead of focused on wanting to have a good time all the time to avoid healing and avoid changing. He needs to work on his happiness. And if he's so distracted by women, third parties, or he's more focused on women, finances, and these things, especially if he has children, more than children, and getting what he wants out of something, you know, that's not good either. So that'll cause setbacks and delays. And for those of you who don't have children, it's more focused on your happiness. He needs to change his thoughts, his perspective, not feeling like he's got to drink and party to have a good time, or he's got to have women giving him attention, or a woman who giving him attention to make him feel happy. He's not searching for ego boosts. He's not searching for love or feeling like he's got to have something present in his life at all moments to feel happy. You know, and that comes with working on those emotions. That's that going within, you know, and being able to step in your power and take action. There's a masculine here who needs to step more in his masculine energy and take more action. Like just sitting stuck contemplating, but knowing what he needs to do is not going to get him anywhere. He's got to start taking action. He's got to put a plan into action. First, got to express his truth. First, got to accept his own truth, the error in his own ways, you know. And, you know, that comes with, you know, maybe his finances have been holding him back. Maybe he needs to work on his finance. Okay, you got to work on what you're spending on. Do you invest more in the partying and the short-lived victories and then temptations rather than your goals, rather than, you know, all those distractions? Some of you, he needs, you know, there could be, if there is children involved, he's worried about if he leaves the situation, he might have to pay child support, or maybe he's got so many financial obligations towards children or a partnership. So he feels like if he leaves that, he's going to be left in the cold. He's going to get taken for all the finances he has. But as long as you're doing the right thing and you show up for court and you present yourself, everything will work out how it's supposed to work out. But you just got to show up. You just got to take action. And again, when you're doing your greatest good and what you're supposed to and making things right, God will bless you in ways you're not going to expect, through people you wouldn't expect. Even there may be hardship. You may take a financial loss if you make this sacrifice. But if you're doing the right thing and you're working on you and you're elevating, other blessing and things will come in from other areas. Don't pay no mind that obligation you got ordered through court or that child support. If I leave this situation, she's going to try to take everything. These are just examples. You still need to move forward. Some masculines need to work on making better decisions when it comes to relationships, not being so quick to jump in relationships, or not being so quick to have children when you get in a relationship, protecting yourself, energy here. Um, and some masculine needs to work on not wanting to control a situation. Still wanting to control one situation, but your heart is pulling you towards another situation. Again, these are examples or could be the real deal. So this makes this masculine want to be emotionally manipulative. I'm going to say and do whatever to control this situation, although my heart is over here, and I will lie and say and do whatever to have my way in both situations, or to have my way in general. Again, this kind of goes back to the beginning of the read. What is your intentions when you deal with an individual or people? Is it for selfish gain? Because if that's the energy you're going to operate in, there will always be setbacks. There will always be delays. There will always be discontentment. And in return, that affects your mind, right? Because you'll keep thinking about it. You'll feel stuck in life. You'll feel trapped because you're not following your heart. You're not following your intuition, or you're putting this energy out of manipulation, or you're putting this energy out of choosing to settle, or choosing to allow finances and images and things to control your life and make decisions in a sense that does not align with your truest heart's desire. So that's when those unexpected events are going to happen, the chaos, the destruction, the fights, the arguments, things, foundations being affected because they're not built upon love and honesty. That's committing to the wrong things, or if you're slow to commit to something but you're dealing with the situation again for whatever intention, you got to heal that aspect of yourself, and that comes with learning self-love. There's masculines here who need to work on loving themselves, because when a masculine loves himself, he is not going to stay in a situation due to manipulation. He's not going to stay in a situation because of finances. Even if he leaves, it may affect him financially. He's still going to push forward and move forward. If he's unhappy, and when a masculine loves himself and he's unhappy in a situation, he's going to express that truth maturely, and he's going to put in that action to move forward past that. He's not going to hold on. He's not going to keep everything bottled in, because he has that mature growth. He's going to speak that truth even if people don't like it. Those kind of things. That masculine's not afraid to take action when he loves himself and push forward to something new and go through those trials and tribulations if he has to, just to move forward. That's that emperor energy. That's embodying all that maturity when it comes to emotions, decisions, his life. He's aware, and there's masculines here who need to work on their self-love, who need to work on taking more action, who need to work on looking at their own intentions when it comes to dealing with relationships, a certain person or another, just where they're at in life in general, because all these setbacks and delays are going to continue to happen because there's manipulation going on. People using people for what they got, or people worried about an image, or feeling like money, and all those selfish ego boosts, or dealing with different options, or women, and whatever it is for you. It's different for all of you, but realizing that about yourself and going within and working on that, so things can move forward, so things don't seem blocked in your life, so your happiness, so you don't feel stuck, feel bored and discontent. It's changing your perspective on what makes you happy, or what you think makes you happy, or with what you're doing in life in general, the decisions you're making. Taking your time before you make the next decision, not being reckless with your energy. So that's what I got for you guys. Like, share, subscribe.